Well, howdy, Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another brand new day. Yes, indeed, another brand new day. While our planet spins on its axis and zooms around that great flaming ball of plasma, the sun. Thumbs up for that. On the Shelton, Washington Weather Plague Rat and Spider Report, for the weather, it was raining pretty much constant yesterday in the morning and afternoon. In the evening it stopped, so I went walkies and it was nice. Yay! A very, very good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. Now for plague rats, because I went walking late enough, it was like 7, 8. I didn't run across a ton of people, and the people in stores were mostly doing what they should with social distancing and masks, so, you know, mostly. Thumbs up for that. And on the spider report, the spider above my window is still doing well. The spider next to the box fan, still doing well. And the other large garden spider, I say large, but she's just the largest of the three. She's not huge, she's just a garden spider. She's doing well as well. Definitely a thumbs up. Little spider companions. It's getting cool, so there aren't as many bugs. So I don't know how well they're going to do now. It's the natural flow and ebb of time and nature, so thumbs up for that. And thumbs up for that. Yes, indeed. Not a whole lot to actually talk about as written down on my topic sheet. I'm having motivational issues again, and it's, I believe, well, I talked with my therapist, and I've been talking around the subject of depression for the past couple times, and he said that's okay. Sometimes one of the things that happens, one of the things that really helps in therapy is to just have a nice, normal, pleasant conversation with somebody. Because if you're not getting that anywhere else, getting a little bit of it right then and there helps. But I've been getting closer and closer to the depression part again. And while I have a cyclical depression that goes up and down, I also have, of course, existential despair and nihilistic feelings, and just the darkness does come in through the cracks, whether I like it or not at times. And there's been a lot of darkness coming in. It's all because of, not all because of, but it's exacerbated by my normal biochemistry, exacerbated by all the stuff going on, mostly in the United States, because I'm a United States citizen, with the pandemic, with everything going on as we continue our rapid slide into just total fascism and authoritarianism. And so there's a lot happening with depression and such. And as I'd mentioned before, my therapist has mentioned that every single therapist and counselor and all that he's talked with, everybody, all of their clients are flipping out right now. The pressure is hard. So, yeah, I'm just right up there with everyone else, so thumbs up for that. But doing my best, so do your best. Please. It's hard times, especially if you're an American citizen. So do your best, please. Thumbs up for that. And when I say American citizen, of course, it's too broad a statement since there's North and South America. If you just say, oh, American citizen, it's like, which continent? Yeah, if you're a U.S. citizen is what I mean. Thumbs up for that. But one of the big things I wanted to talk about was, I've mentioned before, I don't like nostalgia. I do not like to think about the past. I don't like to dwell on the past. I don't like to be dragged to the past, because most of my life has been pretty much horrific. I mean, with the physical and sexual abuse as a child, and then all of the other things that have happened, my drinking and being a functional alcoholic before I was even in middle school. So it's been not good stuff. Now, what was I leading up to? Oh yes, the nostalgia. So there's not a lot of my life I like to actually be reminded of, all the way up to even, like these last couple years. Now, the stuff that's happened like in the last couple years after the death of my wife has just been normal. It happens in life stuff. I mean, my parents died because my father was like almost 90, my stepfather. And my mother, even though she was only 74, she'd had lung cancer and that got bad, and so she's gone. So, normal stuff for the semi-recent things, but absolutely horrific stuff for my past. So I don't like to get dragged to the past. Not a lot of the past is stuff I want to remember. So especially if I get dragged off to the past with a burst of nostalgia, if I hear something or smell something or taste something, I resent that horribly. Because I am being dragged against my will to a place that doesn't exist anymore, with people that are dead, with a situation that is gone and past. All that is just dragging me into pain. So I don't like nostalgia. Generally, it's the things that I will ruminate over in the past are things that are neutral. And there's not a ton of neutral spots in my past to think about. Oddly though, I've been thinking about this and why I actually like to walk on railroad tracks. Because when I was younger, close to where I lived, there were some railroad tracks. And by the time I was a child, they were long abandoned. They were out in the woods back behind a whole bunch of stuff, because when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of growth and buildings in the area that we were in. As I was growing up, that started to change, but when I was younger, that was not true. There was not a lot of that stuff. And so we ranged around, and when we found the tracks, we would roam on them. And I remember this one part in particular, I and my mother, when I was, less than 10? We went walking on the tracks. Now, in Bellingham, Washington, the town I grew up in, I grew up on a street there was a lake, a giant hill, and then a huge long street that literally was at least a mile, 2 miles, and 4 lanes wide, a gigantic street. And halfway up that gigantic long, like about at least a mile, possibly 2, that's where halfway the tracks intersected. And my mother and I walked on that, and we came out on those tracks way up there. And I remember that, and it was actually pleasant. I didn't mind that little spot of nostalgia. And I think that remembering little neutral things like that are actually, more pleasant than just flat neutral. That reminds me of that when I walk on railroad tracks. And even though I've shown the railroad tracks in town, it's only a couple blocks, because it wasn't real. I mean, passenger rail is not really something you have to think about in the U.S., at least here on the West Coast. But for industry and all that, it's a small industrial track that leads right to the plant down in Shelton, Washington. But now, about 7 years ago, the plant sort of shut down and the train tracks don't work anymore. But up until that point, if you had the bad luck of wanting to go off of Southern Shelton or into Southern Shelton and you got stuck behind the train, you were in for a good 20 to 30 minutes of just sitting there and waiting as the train went by. I like it better with it not running, because you can walk on the tracks, so you don't have to wait, but of course it's a loss of industry and jobs, so thumbs up on that. Past that, though, not a whole lot happening. As stated, I'm feeling a lot of demotivation. And a lot of it isn't demotivation just on wanting to do things. It's demotivation on specific things. Like yesterday, I was having difficulty trying to find something that I wanted to do a recording for the second half of the day. It's not that I was having trouble wanting to record. Oh no, I wanted to do that. It was trying to find something that I felt motivated about recording. That was the hard part. Hokey smokes. I tried to do a Minecraft video, but the mod that I wanted, I was having just no luck getting it installed, so thumbs up on that. And just a lot of it, the demotivation, again, is, I feel, mostly because of the situations here in the United States. So much pressure and so much not good feeling and flipping outness. It's hard to get the actual motivation to push into something. So if you're out there and you're suffering from this as well, you're not alone. Trust me on that one. Hokey smokes. Once I find something to get going on, I can do okay. And likely, if you're suffering from this as well, find the right thing that you can push forward on, and then push forward on that. Any feelings of progress are good and valid. So thumbs up on that. And especially right now, everybody needs to do as much as they can for up here. Even if you're a non-United States citizen. And I have a few people from out of the United States that watch, and thank you so much, those of you that do. So take care of yourselves, even though it's not as nightmarish, well, hopefully not as nightmarish as where you are. Though if you're in one of the other 4 countries that are handling it just as badly as the United States is, then I'm sorry, and be as careful as you can. Thumbs up on that. Now, there is a person that in my comments expressed great confusion over my cosmic horror stuff and why I talk about it and what I'm doing with it and all that. And not in an insulting fashion, they're honestly curious. And all I can say right off real quick, if you're watching or other people who are watching, is just, yes, I have been a writer my whole life. I like writing. I write things. It has been more and more difficult in the past couple decades to write because of my increasingly difficult ADD symptoms. It is exhausting to just try and think about writing. Pushing into writing, it's still exhausting even if I can push through and get it started. So it's more difficult, and while I'm not a professional paid writer, I have been writing for decades and decades and been published across the US in various amateur publications, and I've written and done stuff online. I continue to write and read stuff here, so I still write, just not as obsessively as I used to. If I can get ADD medication, I would like to be able to write these things out. So when I'm talking about my cosmic horror stuff, it's just a framework for continued fiction. And yes, I have to say, it's all confusing stuff. The actual cosmic horrors themselves that I talk about with their confusing pronunciations and names, I mean, cosmic horrors are by definition unknowable, so they're going to be confusing no matter what. I mean, after all, a a rule of thumb definition for cosmic horror is just a being, an object, a situation, or a location that is incomprehensible, that is simply existing or doing something in a way we can't understand, with little to no regard for human life or safety. Past that, we have no understandings of what is happening with cosmic horror. And it's hard to do a cosmic horror story right, because by nature they are unknowable. That one science fiction one with, what is their name, Natalie Portman, Annihilation, where there's this field, this area where stuff is happening on the world. Yeah, that's cosmic horror. Things that you cannot understand, happening in a fashion that is unknowable with little regard for life or safety. Cosmic horror in a nutshell, and I've got frameworks set up to try and make any kind of story at all possible. Every kind that fits into the framework. So that's all I'm doing. That doesn't really help on the comprehension, but hopefully some form of understanding of at least why I rattle these things off. So thumbs up. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. It is arranged because even though I count American Sign Language with my depression, fibro, ADD, and more, it is very difficult for me to keep things in line. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. And is there another one? Yeah, I can't remember because I did it all out of order. So let's pretend I did it properly and head over to the actual thanking of people. With Tom, thank you very, very much. And Slendy, greatly appreciated. JHT 2005, greatly appreciated. Sakurnasu, I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And we have Metal Guitarist 666, thumbs up. Ice Damon, greatly appreciated. That one kid Kev, how about that? And thank you very much. And then we have Taryn Peterson, greatly appreciated. Joseph Spicer, thumbs up and thank you. Kathy Kitscat, it's been a while since I've seen you in the comments. Good to see you. Mohammed Fares, greatly appreciated. C1 Zin COD, thumbs up and thank you. We have Taylor MXRIE, thumbs up. And then there is Jake Pizzini, thumbs up. Louis Mills, greatly appreciate. Potato Tron, thumbs up, and hopefully I'll get that done soon. Arturo Hichos, nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. XXer Tricky XX, thumbs up and thank you. And then there's AJ Falls, thumbs up and thank you very much. Sebastian Ferris, greatly appreciated. Mike, thumbs up. Colin Reisner, greatly appreciated. Made in Canada, thumbs up and thank you. Dust Gray, greatly appreciated. And 24 comments, thumbs up and thank you all so very much. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. And that's appreciated very, very much. Definitely a thumbs up. If you could, check out my various links down below. I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com if you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign, or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people. That would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out but don't want to send money to one of those two places, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you want to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link as well, with things like hamster food, cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, not silly things. If you could check it out, that would be very, very cool. My thanks to Potatotron for having sent some hamster bedding. Awesome. Thank you so very, very much. And I've forgotten the name, but I also got another container of cat food. Thank you so very, very much. If I find the tag, I will thank you tomorrow, but thank you very, very much. And of course, that's right, I was going to say, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up, and hopefully I've got a, if you could subscribe to the channel thing at the front of the video. Yay! So I got this video here. I've got a video to edit and render and upload for the channel. It's actually a 3-parter because the bloody game took so long. It was a huge, huge episode. Thumbs up for that. Yay! So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and please wear a mask. Practice your social distancing. Practice your self-care. Please, please, please. These are hard times, and it's hard on your mind. Take care of yourself. It is important. And of course, Black Lives Matter. And justice for everybody, that the jackbooted, brown-shirted fascist thugs continue brutalizing and murdering even today on American streets.